Hey everyone, Happy New Year. Covey here with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about one of my current favorite shows, Amphibia. Joining me is my buddy Tom from Curmudgeon Media to help me with this breakdown.
Did someone say breakdown?
Amphibia is one of my favorite shows that's currently airing for a huge number of reasons. It's got creative and imaginative world building, an intricately woven and action-packed plot, well-rounded, complex, and compelling characters, and so much more that just make it so great. But in this video, we're gonna just focus on one aspect of the show, arguably my favorite part of it and what makes it so unique. It's so funny.
I personally love the peace and quiet. A frog can really hear themselves think out here. Did you leave the stove on? The front door unlocked? Will you die alone? Well, that was a mistake.
I love the humor in this show so much, it makes me cry laughing sometimes. I teamed up with Tom and we ended up having so much to say about the topic, we had to break it down into two parts. You can check out the companion video to this one over on the Curmudgeon Media channel, and I'll also link it in the description.
In that video, we dissected a couple of our favourite gags from the show to explore how the humour is structured and why it works.
In this video, we're going to be zooming out and looking broadly to see how Amphibia uses humor to actually tell the story of the show. Sure, jokes can be there just for a laugh, but they can also be used as a tool to convey information. The show uses humor to unfold the plot, develop the characters, and fill out the details on the greater world of Amphibia. Before I get started, a quick apology. I meant to get this video out ages ago to go along with the part 1 companion video, and also to inform y'all about our weekly Amphibia discussion streams over on my Twitch channel, but it just kept getting away from me. In any case, we'll be continuing the live discussion streams once Season 3 comes back from hiatus. And I also plan to post some of the highlights over here on YouTube. I'll talk a bit more about that at the end of the video, so stick around if you're interested. And of course, a brief spoiler warning, this video is going to cover pretty much the entire show that's out right now up until the mid-season 3 break. Go watch it over on Disney+, it's officially all up there now, and then come back when you're ready. Now, on with the actual video.
Amphibia is genuinely super funny, and we talked about why the humour is so well executed in our companion video. We examined the show through the lens of absurdism and incongruity, so if you're looking for a more detailed, specific analysis, check out our video over on the Curmudgeon Media channel.
But the jokes are so much more than just funny, and they manage to accomplish multiple things at the same time, including delivering crucial information about the scene and the story.
We scared it off!
Frog power!
Nope, that scared it off.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
First, let's talk about tone. Amphibia uses humor to keep the show's tone light, wholesome, and heartwarming, all of which contribute to the themes of the show, themes such as family and empathy.
Hop, hop, we broke a model ship. You crossed all kinds of ethical and moral lines.
Like I said, even.
Yeah, whatever.
Fine.
As is the case with any good screenplay, tone and theme are often connected and feed into one another. The theme of a story is its core subject, the thesis of the narrative, while tone, on the other hand, refers to how a movie or TV series and the themes therein are presented to us, the overall vibe and atmosphere.
The silly tone shows us that Amphibia isn't going to take itself too seriously, and it makes the time to laugh at itself, allowing us, as the audience, to laugh alongside with it. One of my favorite ways the show accomplishes this is through the use of meta jokes, which are essentially inside jokes with those of us who are outside the fourth wall.
Why, sometimes it feels like we have at least 2 wacky adventures a week.
But this light-hearted, comedic tone accomplishes multiple things. First, it allows us to suspend our disbelief when something ridiculous happens, even when the stakes are high, because we've already accepted the absurdity of the world.
For example, when the Toads take over Newtopia in true colors, despite it being an organized rebellion, it looks like this.
Or how in Season 3, Anne and the Plantars escape from a mad scientist preparing them for vivisection by feeding her to a pack of hungry children. When something off the wall happens, it simply blends in with the general absurdism of the show.
Another thing setting this kind of tone accomplishes is that when things do get serious, it makes those moments hit so much harder. Even when the show is taking itself seriously, we can safely assume that whatever's coming up next is going to be devastating.
I just need to...
Now look what you've made me do.
I'm sorry for everything.
Emphasis by contrast.
As an extension of this, the more grounded themes of found family, redemption, empathy, and so on are likewise emphasised by contrast. It allows the heart and soul of the show to really stand out.
Slower than last time.
Sorry, this thing's pretty old.
Oh, no, I get it.
Next, let's talk about plot. Amphibia often uses humor to set up both episodic and overarching plot lines, utilizing a narrative tool commonly known as Chekhov's gun.
Many of you may be familiar with the concept of Chekhov's gun, or have heard of the idea of setup and payoff in a script, but it's more than just simply that. It's a principle of economical storytelling, the idea that every aspect of a script should contribute to the story in some way.
Amphibia brilliantly sneaks in these crucial plot details in the form of jokes, so that when they eventually come back, long after I've laughed and brushed it off as a simple gag, it always surprises me when those things end up being the key to solving a major conflict in the plot. Not only are the jokes used to convey crucial information, but the writers use humor to mask the importance of the detail, and the better they hide it, the more exciting it is when it comes back.
This also occurs on an overarching scale, with episodes that originally seem like one-offs but are reincorporated later in the series. It's clear the writers thought out the plot well in advance in order to include these details so early in the show.
What makes you think I'm irresponsible? Oops.
Sprig, what did I tell you about leaving the lights on?
But as Tom mentioned, Chekhov's scriptwriting principles are more than just setup and payoff. In a broader sense, it suggests that every aspect of a script should contribute to the story as a whole, like a well-oiled machine. That's not to say all stories should be like this, and there are plenty of great ones that don't follow this formula. But when it's done well, it makes for a really satisfying episode of television, and Amphibia is extremely good at this. The show doesn't just use humor to give us plot details, but also has opportunities to flesh out the characters and convey their personalities, flaws, and motivations.
That's right, Anne. I watched all the episodes. Hated it. I loved it.
Amphibia boasts an incredible cast of characters, and the writers frequently use humour to characterise them. Consider Marcy. Her introductory episode, Marcy at the Gates, has a ton of visual gags that quickly inform us about her personality. Later, in the first temple, we get lots of gags that explore one of Marcy's critical flaws, getting so focused on her goal that she disregards those around her.
Sasha also has some amazing gags that suggest her two-faced, manipulative tendencies. Her aggressive nature is also quite humorous, even though that's her own critical flaw that she must overcome. My absolute favorite example of a character that gets developed through humor is none other than Captain Grime. What I especially love about Grime is that he doesn't change too much as a character across the episodes we see him in, but instead, more and more surprising bits of information are slowly uncovered and revealed in totally unexpected yet hilarious ways. In season 1, he's a terrifying, brutal antagonist, but then in season 2, the hidden soft side is exposed, and this reveal had me in actual tears.
This piece is dedicated to the serenity of nature.
But this principle extends to our main characters as well. The running gag of Hot Pot being obsessed with acting but also being pretty bad at it is definitely funny, but comes back to further his character arc, giving him the opportunity to give up the spotlight for the greater good. Sprig desperately wanting people to like him is funny when he obsesses over the one person in his town who can't stand him, but later becomes an important flaw for him to overcome as part of his arc.
Anne, as a protagonist, gets lots of character development and goes through a significant arc from the beginning of the show to where she is now. And of course, a lot of that is done through humor. She goes from being a self-centered girl with a skewed idea of friendship to learning to trust the people who have her best interests in heart and actually fight for what she cares about. I had originally had this character part of the video a lot longer, but I realized I was getting more into character analysis than I was talking about humor, and so I had to cut it for time. But if y'all are interested in hearing some Amphibia character analyses, let me know in the comments. In addition to the story and the characters, Amphibia also uses humor to flesh out the setting and build the world within the show to make it feel like a real living place. Even though Amphibia is in another dimension, we quickly become familiar with how things work there along with Anne.
The world of Amphibia is often kill or be killed, filled with horrifying beasts, and can often be shocking and pretty gross.
Cool. This world is messed up.
But all of this is built on humour. Hell, even the vegetables come alive just because of the pun.
We got a bumper crop of scream beans that need selling.
All this to say, Amphibia is an amazingly well-crafted show where it can forward the plot, develop the characters, and build the world of the show all through gags. Comedy is a powerful force, and Amphibia shows us that it can be used as a masterful storytelling device while also making this one of the most fun shows that I've ever seen. But we want to know what you all think. What are some of your favorite jokes in Amphibia? What are some of the times that you've been most surprised by how important some of the jokes end up being? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more in the future. I mentioned at the top of the video that I've been hosting discussion streams, most of the time also along with Tom, over on my Twitch channel to talk about some of our favorite shows. We've been discussing new episodes of The Owl House Season 2 and Amphibia Season 3 as they come out, and we plan to continue once those shows come back from being on hiatus. The easiest way to stay up to date with streams, videos, or whatever else I'm doing is to follow me on other platforms. You can follow me on Twitch, Twitter, or join the Discord server. All of these links will be in the description. And lastly, I just want to add, I know I'm not super consistent with video uploads. I unfortunately just don't have the time or the bandwidth to make videos as often as I'd like. I'd love to change that, but unfortunately that's just the reality right now. Anyway, regardless of that, a lot of you seem to be sticking around and continuing to support me in the stuff I make, and for that I am super, super grateful. I never would have expected so many subscribers, let alone folks who continue to follow me on other platforms and such, and it just really means the world to me. Thank you so, so much for watching. I love you and appreciate you. Stay safe and take care.